All right, y'all. So I'm going to talk about this real quick, just because it's on my mind, been on my mind. I've been seeing people's reviews on this, and I want to put my 2 cents in. So I have watched the Avatar: Last Airbender maybe a couple, 3 or 4 times, but I've watched the show since it came out back in 2005. It's definitely one of, if not the best fictional work I've seen come from America. And it's definitely on par with some of the best anime that's been created. Um, Netflix, for years now, have been trying to turn this into a live action. So, as a person who draws and a person who likes animated work, not just anime, but just animated work in general, I'm not a fan of all these companies trying to turn live action trying to turn cartoons and live action, because animation is its own whole own media. There's a reason why things are animated, and people try to demean animation and cartoons because they feel like it's for kids, when it's completely not the case. And I feel like the Japanese in Asia has actually embraced that artwork and has shown that animated medium is for adults, because they do a lot more with it than we do over here in the West. Um, with that being said, sorry, there's a little fruit fly that just decided to fly in my video. With that being said, again, I'm not a big fan of when these companies or these channels or whoever decides to turn a cartoon into live action, because you can't do the same. Animation allows you to do so much with your storytelling that live action just can't do. And for some reason, I don't understand why people don't get this over here in the West. Um, oh my God, it's bothering me. I don't know what's going on. But I don't understand why people in the West just don't understand that. Like, you can't tell the same stories with the accuracy and the imagination in live action that you can animated, because people are limited to what they can do, like just physically. And CG, computer generated graphics and images, when you try to implement it in a way that doesn't cost a lot of money, it doesn't work that well. So I'm sorry for my little 3 minute diatribe about it, but I just had to get that out there. With that being said, me and my wife started watching it, the Netflix joint, and we haven't really gotten that far. We only got to the first half, the first 4 episodes. Um, so I heard that it gets better after the fourth episode, but I'm just gonna be honest. Um, it's good, not great. And the reason why that's kind of not good to hear is because, like I said, the original is one of the best. So to have one of the best in its medium, they flip the medium and it turns into just good. It's kind of trash. Um, I do like that they tried to do some original stuff with it. But at the same time, um, a lot of what they do that's original is not that good. So if you don't know nothing about the Avatar, I'm not gonna get into it. There's plenty of videos about it, so I'll let you go ahead and do your own little research and stuff on it. If you happen to so much to see this video, then you will probably know what it is. But as far as the changes that they made, there's some that I don't like. They made a lot of changes with some of the characters that I just don't really care for. Azula, what they did with her, definitely don't like it, because if you watch the original, the second season is when she becomes the main villain, and she is a villain. She's not made to be sympathetic. But what they did with the live action, they introduced her early, which I'm not, like, I don't hate, but by making her sympathetic is going to make it hard for people to um accept, if they do what they do in the second season of the original, do what she does. I don't see her with somebody who's struggling and going through what she's going through being able to accomplish what she did in the original second season. I don't see it with how they're doing it. So it'll be interesting to see what changes they make to do that if they decide to do a second season or whatever. But as of right now, I don't like how they make her so sympathetic. I know Boomy isn't much of a character in the show. The original, I mean, he is a character and he's important, but not to the plot. With what they did with him in the live action, don't really care for it. Um, I think what the new Netflix joint is forgetting is that Aang is a kid. Yes, he's the avatar, but he's a kid. And with that, I understand the urgency that they're trying to give, which they kind of get away from because it seems like they're not following the timeline of the original, which made it urgent. He had a timeline. They had a timeline to get done what they had to get done. And it seems like they're going away from that. But Aang is a kid. And the way that they be treating him to try to give him urgency with what he needs to do as being an avatar, it seems like everybody's a little bit too harsh towards him. No one's trying to teach him. No one is giving him grace. And I get it that, like this war's been going on, but with what they changed for him to even be caught up in the iceberg, I don't like that. I don't like why everybody's so harsh towards him. And instead of trying to guide him and help him, they're like, look what you did. You've been gone for this amount of time and you need to fix it. Okay, well, how are you going to help me? Figure it out on your own. But I'm 12. Figure it out on your own. And they did that with Boomy to an extreme extent because in the original, they were friends and Boomy tried to help Aang, whereas in the remake, they were friends, but Boomy so butthurt that Aang went away for so long that he's treating him like crap, man. I don't like that. Some of the acting is off. I don't know if it's because of the writing or if it's because they just aren't good actors or actresses, but a lot of the kid actors aren't that good. I guess you can give it grace. It is not going to stop you from watching it, but I'm just saying if people were getting on the movie for such bad acting, they should be getting on this show for such bad acting. And to be honest, this show, just me personally, is not that much better than the movie. I know a lot of people are saying, "Oh, it's so much better," da 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 da, but I don't think so. The acting isn't that much better. The parts that they're rewriting doesn't add to the story. The action, they do too much slow down. There's too many slow motion. I know the actual animated series had slow motion, but it wasn't every fight scene. They only did slow motion on impactful parts of the fight scene. But this one, for every fight scene I've seen so far, I haven't gotten to the end, but there's slow motion in it, and I don't like that they're doing so much slow motion, especially because the choreography is actually good. But because there's so much slow motion, I don't feel as though the fight scenes are that much more impactful than they were in the animated movie. And yes, they don't do as much startup in the live action Netflix joint than they do in the movie, but they still do startup in a lot of their movies. And what I mean by startup is they do a sort of martial art type movement before the bending comes out. You notice it more with the fire bending, but it's with the fire bending and the earth bending and the water bending. The only time you really don't see it that much is with the air bending. But with all the other bendings, they do some type of startup martial art movement before the bending works. And for it to feel, this is just me, y'all, this is not everybody else, to feel like it's an extension, it shouldn't be a startup. It should be part of the natural movement of the martial art that's being done. But those are the big things that I have. Me and my wife, we may finish it. If we got the time, we'll try to finish it. I know she likes it. I think she likes it a little bit more than I do. I don't hate it. I do like it. I don't love it. And just because of how much I love the Avatar Last Airbender, it's just okay. I really do think, to be honest, that The Legend of Korra would have probably been a better live action, just because The Legend of Korra is more contained and it has a lot more melodrama than the original, The Last Airbender joint. So that's just how I feel about it. I just wanted to get that out there. But please go watch it. Have your own opinion on it. I'm pretty sure y'all probably gonna like it. It's still #1 on Netflix, so y'all go ahead and watch that and support it, because the original creators, they got away from it, the live action joint, but they got movies coming out, and I definitely want to see where they take this property and this story more. So go support it if y'all can. All right, y'all.